Can you see me well? Or
a little. It's
okay.
for the light, the contrast.
Yes. Yes. Just 1 second. Let's try
Nice,
this.
nice cloud, nice weather.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful weather.
Here is cold.
Oh, it's cold, eh?
Mm. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It's winter now in Argentina.
Yes, yes. The cold winter.
Yeah. Yes.
We don't have snow here.
Well, you have in the mountains, right?
No, here, not here.
Oh, this is not good. Hold on, I will
If you approach the cam, is okay.
This
It's
is
better.
gonna be better. Yeah, this will be better. But you have beautiful skiing in Argentina, in the mountains.
Yes, but here we have 1,000 kilometers from the mountains.
From the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So very far, very far.
Yes. And what is the temperature now in Argentina in the winter?
8 grades, I think. 4 grades.
8 degrees.
Yes, degrees. So
okay.
My English is not too good. All the people here understand English, so we try.
Your English is much better than my Spanish.
Okay. So we talk in English.
It's very good. It's very good.
Okay. Here we have some boys who play in a team we developed years ago, and we have two coaches, Martin and Agustin. Agustin is
nice.
who think the idea, who interview people, and
nice.
I think let's talk to the world.
Yes.
So why we are here?
Thank you very much for the invitation. and it's really my pleasure. Really my pleasure. You know, my passion is development of water polo in the world. That's what I love the most. I will tell you a little bit about myself and what I was doing, but development of water polo in the world is what I love. I love the most. That's something, you know, that where I see myself in the future. So hopefully we will see each other in person, not just over the Zoom calls.
we think the same. I hope the same. Bueno, okay, if you want, let's talk about you. Who are you? What is be a Yugoslav water polist?
Okay, I received a few of your questions.
Okay.
So what I was thinking is I can go through those questions pretty quick, you know, maybe 15-20 minutes. But then what I believe it would be probably the best to have some questions in any area, like whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to discuss, whatever you want my opinion on, you know, like, or you have some questions or doubts, you know, like, or anything, you know, like, I think that would be probably the best, you know, for all of you at this moment.
Okay.
Is it okay?
It's okay.
Good. So basically, I'm Serbian, native Serbian. I was born and raised in Serbia, in former Yugoslavia, then Serbia. I started playing water polo very, very young. I started when I was 5 years old, and that was maybe for 1 or 2 years. It was pretty much swimming classes, similar to many other water polo players. Then when I was 7 years old, I moved to a world famous water polo club called Partizan from Belgrade. So that's my home club. I went through all categories there. Started playing for a senior team professionally. I played for all national teams of former Yugoslavia. Then played for Serbia and Montenegro. You know, like, and how country was changing. You know, like, but all all of those categories. I won the Junior World Championship, 1989, long time ago. So, and then after that, started playing with the senior national team. We won a silver medal at the European Championship, bronze medal at the World Championship, University Games. I didn't go to Olympic Games. I missed Olympic Games 2 times as a player for some internal reasons. But that's something, you know, that makes me pretty sad, even today. But I was at the Olympics as a head coach of Canadian men's national team 2008. So that was nice reward. You know, if I couldn't go as a player, you know, like I went as a head coach. So I played through like all those competitions in Europe until I was 29, 30 years old. Then my family and me, we moved to Canada. I started I became the assistant coach of Canadian senior men's team here in Calgary, and I was assistant coach for 4 years. And then 2004, I became head coach of the men's national team. And 2012, I was high performance director of the all men's teams in Canada. Right now, I have my own company, and I do many things. Everything is in Waterpolo. So first and the most important thing that I do is I'm the executive director of World's Waterpolo Coaches Association. So that's the association of all coaches around the world. We provide education for those coaches, networking. You know, we represent waterpolo coaches in the world. Recently, 2-3 years ago, we were part of the expert group of changing the rules of waterpolo. You know, and those kind of things. So that's pretty nice. We do some proposals for development of waterpolo around the world. We work a little bit with FINA, also TWPC, and just basically helping coaches in any way we can. That's one of the things I do. Maybe you heard of Habababa tournament, Italian tournament. So I represent Habababa in North America. So I organize Habababa in Canada, and soon, hopefully in March or April, we will organize it in Texas also, depending on this whole virus, you know, and situation, of course. Yeah. So those are things, you know, like development of waterpolo around the world, you know, some consulting. I was part of the club here in Calgary a little bit, you know, as a technical director. I have my own club in United States, in Los Angeles. So everything is in waterpolo, and it's really busy. Couple of things about Canadian national team and coaching career. Canadian men's team qualified first time in history 2008 for Olympic Games in Beijing. Men's team was part of the Olympic Games before, 2 or 3 times, I believe, but never qualified, which means Canadian team was part of 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles when there was a boycott, and then they got the invitation to participate. Then 76 when Canada was the host of the Olympic Games in Montreal. But this was the first time that actually Canadian men's team deserved to go by qualifying for the Olympic Games. And that was really special moment. I'm sure you can understand from your perspective how much that means, you know, when a country goes to the Olympic Games, and especially a country who is outside of the Europe, which is not easy. not easy to do. And in that sense, Canada and Argentina are pretty similar, I would say. So that was a huge achievement. And another really big achievement was 2009. Canadian men's team was in top 8 at the World Championship. So we made another step, came to top 8 in a world, and that was the first time ever that Canadian men's team did it, and that is something that I'm really proud of. About Serbia and former Yugoslavia, as I said, like I started there. I mostly played there, coached a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 years, like before I stopped playing. But it was mostly my coaching, playing career in former Yugoslavia, and it was nice. It was Waterpolo was professional. We were paid to play. We had great coaches. System was really good. Lots of games, which is really important to develop, to improve. Something that Argentina and Canada do not have many chances, and that is the biggest problem. I know Argentina Waterpolo, I can't say pretty well, but I know well Argentina Waterpolo when I was coach of Canada, because that was part of my job, to to scout opponents.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about Argentina Waterpolo. The passion that players and coaches from Argentina have is remarkable. It's incredible. Really, something that I didn't see at many places in the world. And that is something for sure that Argentina Waterpolo could use to develop even further in the future. Well, of course, financing is the biggest issue, like anywhere else, but that passion for a sport, love for water polo is incredible. Really, you have a country, and people in a country who are really passionate about this sport, and I congratulate you on that.
Cool. We have a lot of bureaucracy here.
Yes. Well, bureaucracy is everywhere. I can tell you that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is everywhere, and that is a bad part of any sport, or any organization. So we just have to work, the best we can to develop our sport and to move forward. I will give you an example. There is a huge bureaucracy in Canada as well. There is no much difference. And whoever told me when I became the head coach of national team, whoever told me, well, that can be done, because of bureaucracy, because of whatever reasons, that made me motivated even more to prove that yes, it can be done. So it is a painful way, it takes lots of time, lots of energy, but everything can be done, anything can be done. That's something I can tell you from my own experiences, and whoever tells you that something cannot be done, don't believe that. That's not true for sure. So just believe in your dreams and work hard, have a plan, constantly educate yourself. That is really important, to constantly educate yourself, and the results will come. It's just matter of time. I will give you one example. When I moved to Canada, and then I was 4 years assistant coach, and then became a head coach, and suddenly I was sitting at home and thinking, okay, so how do I make a plan? Where to start? What is important? What is not important? How do I analyze my team? How do I analyze other teams? And I realized that knowledge that I had at that moment was the knowledge as a player, which is completely different than knowledge as a coach. Totally different things. So what I did is I called my ex-coach from former Yugoslavia, and I literally on the phone I said, Nikola, listen, I am in trouble. I have a problem. And he said, what is happening? I said, I became a head coach of Canadian national senior national team. He said, well, how is that the problem? I said, I don't think I know much to be a head coach, of the Canadian men's team, And he said, look at your calendar. Tell me a couple of dates. He was in Marseille, coaching in Marseille at that time. Look at your calendar. I will look at my calendar. Let's find a couple of dates that you can come here, and we will start, educating you about coaching. And that is how I started. I spent, I think, 10 days with him in Marseille that first time, and that was honestly 18 hours a day. Like 18 hours a day, talking about everything, showing me, questioning me, making me think, rather than telling me exactly what needs to be done. He was making me think, about everything and coming to my own conclusions. And that's how I started. But after that, I had to educate myself constantly, like every day. And that is the most important thing in Waterpolo. One of the coaches when I was young, like really young, in Partizan was Ratko Rudic. You probably know about him, one of the most decorated coaches in the world. And he said the same thing, like motivation and education is the key for the coaches. If you're motivated and if you are willing, to educate yourself constantly, then results will come. But that is the same thing for the players as well. Motivation is the most important thing. There are many problems, that players are going through. For example, now coronavirus, and they can't go to the pool. I don't know what is the situation right now in Argentina, but for sure 2-3 months nobody was able to go to the pool. Maybe air pools are still not open in Argentina. I don't know. But those 2-3 months are perfect time, to sit down and to think about all like everything you have done and what you want to achieve, to make a plan, and to be motivated, to continue as soon as possible. On the other side, you can do lots of things on a street, backyard, outdoor basketball courts or whatever, like outdoor parks, wherever you want, like lots of things. You can work on your conditioning, and to keep motivating yourself, to continue with your career, with your improvements, and how to be better. One day when this is all over, and we're hoping that will be soon.
Okay, great. I like it. It's very passionate. Justin, question here. What motivates you particularly to be a coach, or to make a plan, to re-educate, to think, to do?
I love waterpolo, and waterpolo is my passion. Sport is my passion. There is no sport I'm not watching. And my son also, like he's doing the same thing, like when we do that together. So that's the first motivation. For me personally, big motivation for myself is I don't like the office. I never worked in the office one day of my life, because that's just not me, and I don't like it. So I will do anything that I need to do not to be in the office.
Okay.
And that's another motivation. So everybody has to find their own internal motivation and the goals. what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to do? You know, I will give you example that you're aware of, because those players are coming from Australia, brothers Perone. You know, they're coming from Brazil. Brazil also has many problems, you know, in water polo. Brazil has bureaucracy and many other things. But they were so motivated to be one of the best players in the world that they were working extremely hard, extremely hard. So another example, maybe coaches know, I don't know if players know, he was my teammate. We played, you know, for quite a few years together, Alexander Šapić. He was one of the best players in the world. I didn't see the harder working player ever in my life. He would come, when we were in a club, we had a practice in the morning, 1 hour gym and 2 hours in the pool. That was in the morning, and 2 hours at night. He would come 1 hour earlier in the gym, do his gym plan and work, stay 1 hour in the gym with the team, go 2 hours in a pool with a team, and he would stay half a more hour after that in the pool, and every day like that, because he wanted to be the best in the world, absolutely best in the world, you know. And you have to find that motivation inside of yourself. You really have to. I gave you that example of Perone brothers. I'll give you example of Perez from Cuba, you know, who was one of the best
in Spain.
One of the best. Yes, he was playing for Spain, but he was one of the best players in the world. And you have your own example, left-hand player who is playing for Italy and for Pro Recco.
Yes.
I can pronounce. I apologize.
Echenique.
I can pronounce Echenique. Yes, I can pronounce.
And now we have one player, Carlos Camnasio, who started playing in Spain clubs. I think he could be a great waterpolist.
That is excellent. So you have examples from your own country, something that those young players, you know, they can look up to those players and see how they have done it, and see which is the most important. They can see it's possible. It's possible to be the best in the world coming from Argentina, absolutely, because Argentina is a sport nation. I know that for a fact. You know, I know from football, I know from basketball, I know from many other sports. You know, that you have amazing results, like incredible results. Your basketball player Scala is
right. Yes, and Ginobili
out of this world. You know, like and the player who played in San Antonio for years.
Ginobili.
Ginobili. Yes. As well, you know, like, and not to mention football players.
Yeah,
football players are the best in the
footballers.
world. So you have that sport passion and sport mentality and winning mentality. You have that inside of you. That's coming from your roots, you know, from a country. So you have that inside of you. So it's possible. Anything is absolutely possible. There is no doubt about that. This is something I had lots of problems, and took me a lot of time to explain to Canadian players, for example, Canadian waterpolo players, because sport in Canada is not like in Argentina, except hockey. Everything else is not on the level of Argentina, and country didn't have that many sport successes, you know. Except hockey. Hockey is for sure the best in the world. There is no doubt about that. But everything else, it's kind of in the middle, you know, middle range. So I had to convince them that it's inside of them. That winning mentality is inside of them. They just have to find that. So what I was telling them, I said, you don't need to look at water polo in Canada and the past. You look at hockey, because those players are Canadians also, same as you are, completely the same. So If they are winners, you are winner too. You just have to find that inside of you, and you have to work on that, and you have to prove that. So every nation in the world, has a way to find that winning mentality, and to bring it up, to the sport level. Greek, like I remember in Greece, long time ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, before Greece started to have successes on a club level and national team level. One of the coaches was comparing, their winning mentality with business, because Greeks are amazing traders, like they trade, and lots of them become rich from that, so that's a part of winning mentality also. It's you just have to find something which is successful in your society and try to transfer that to the sport, to your level, what you're doing.
What are your goals with Canadian Waterpolo?
I'm not with Canadian Waterpolo anymore. I'm working by myself. I'm not in federation anymore since beginning of 2014. So I'm not involved at all. So I can't tell you anything about that.
Your goals in your team?
My goals, well, everything is different. For example, this club, that I lead in, I'm not coaching in California. It's just my club. I established that club. So my goals, with that club is to be the best in the United States. We started 2 years ago. We started with young categories, and we're going step by step. We need great coaches in the club to achieve the goals. We have one great coach, and a couple of younger ones, who still needs to develop and needs more education. But our goal, with a club is to become the best in United States in next, I don't know, 6 to 8 years, maybe. So we're working really hard on that, to try to achieve that. And for example, right now, I don't know if you're familiar, if you know, but situation in California is really, really hard with this coronavirus. So pools are not open. Kids cannot practice, but we were able to find one pool to be there 3 times a week. And I guarantee you that 98% of the clubs in California cannot get into the pool. So that was a big thing for us, really, really big, and kids are practicing on a beach also, doing dry land on a beach, jumping in the ocean, and then 3 times a week they're going to the swimming pool and just swim. So we're doing as much as we can at this moment with this whole pandemic going on.
In your plan, you compare, you establish comparison steps in the plan. So like the next year win that team, the next 4 years win the team that.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm a person who likes planning a lot. I plan every single step, and I change that plan a lot also. So when you plan, you have to have a final goal in mind. What is your goal at the end? Then you put some milestones, like milestones, reaching little lower goals in shorter period of time. But in regards to water polo, I have never put the goal in my plan to beat certain team at certain level. I never did that. I truly believe that development, individual development and team development is the most important thing. And that result will come based on the whole structure that you build and the individuals who are better. So there is a good saying with Anglophone people, the whole chain is as strong as one link.
Yeah.
One link is. So I always focus on that one link and try to make that link as strong as possible, and then to have many links players, you know. So I never, when I was Canadian national team coach, I never put goal in 4 years, you know, I want to win against Italy. No, in 4 years, I want to qualify for the Olympics. How am I going to qualify? I don't know. Is Italy or Romania or Germany going to be in my way? I don't know, but I want to be strong. So whoever comes, I want to be at the Olympic Games, you know, rather than focusing on one team, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand what am I saying?
What? Sorry?
Do you understand what I was trying to say?
Yes. And I
Okay.
share the same vision. I would ask, I have it in Spanish.
Yes, okay.
What is your week's eslabón? How do you say? ¿Cómo es eslabón en inglés? The chain. What is your weak link in the chain? Now, at that time, or without coronavirus?
It depends. If you're talking about a club,
yeah,
for example, the weak link is number of players. That's a weak link. We don't have too many athletes in the club, so that's something, you know, that we have to focus on, and we have to expand our whole structure with many more players for many reasons, for selection reasons, you know, for financial reasons, for being able, you know, to pay the best coaches, you know, like and provide the opportunities, you know, to the athletes and everything else. When I was a national team coach, the weakest link was games, not having enough games that we could play domestically or with bordering countries, because everything is so far away that it costed a lot of money. So we created a national league, and we created a financial structure that was working at that time to help athletes, you know, and help clubs to create domestic league, but also we had to work besides what we were doing in the pool, in the swimming pool and the gym. We had to work on branding our team, creating a brand so that we can pretty much get financing to get more games. So basically, we got from our budget, for example, increased 6 times over 6 years, 6 times. But it was a hard work, you know. It was a hard work, and it wasn't all me. There was a whole team of people who was working on every aspect, you know, of that whole big plan. But the weakest link was number of games. Definitely, you know, that was we were lacking game experience, and we had to focus on that part, you know, a lot. Definitely.
Why the East European are very good?
It's very simple. East European are practicing training much more than anybody else. So it's not that East European people or countries are special. No, I'm coming from there, you know. It isn't, you know. Yes, there is a talent, but that talent you can find anywhere in the world, for sure. You know, I have seen that talent in Argentina. I have seen that talent in America. I have seen that talent in Canada. I could see that talent in Australia. You know, like there are many talented players in the world, in each country, even South Africa. You know, South Africa has some incredibly talented athletes, incredibly talented, incredibly resilient and strong athletes mentally. You know, because of society. You know, society is not. It's not easy to live in South Africa. You know, for example, when we were talking about South Africa, it's not easy to live there. You have to fight to survive. You understand what I mean?
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So so there are many athletes in the world who are really good. You have a center forward who is playing for Australia now, but he's who's in Pro Reco and but he's from New Zealand. One of the best center forwards in the world, definitely. You have center forward in USA. You know, Ben Hollick. He's one of the best center forwards in the world. So you can find those talented athletes anywhere in the world. But what gives advantage to East European countries is that they practice 5 times more than anybody else. And automatically they become better. You know, that's how it is. On the other side, there are some other fortunate things, you know, which, for example, if you're talking about Serbia, from Serbia to Croatia, you have 400 kilometers. You know, from Belgrade in Serbia to Budapest in Hungary, it's 400 kilometers. You know, so they can sit in a car or in a bus, you know, like and drive there every weekend. Yes, every weekend. You know, if they want you know, to play. So that is something that is not possible in Argentina. It's not possible in the United States. It's not possible in Canada. It's not possible in Russia. It's not possible in Australia. It's not possible in China. You know, so that is another thing for sure. And I would say a third thing is history of that sport. You know, because in that part of the world, because of the successes, you know, like everybody knows about the sport. So that is, it's easier for young kids to come to water polo than in other countries, definitely. But this is all that can change. You know, this is all that can change with a real plan, with a hard work. You know, maybe not in 2 years for sure, but over the years, it all can change. That's not something, you know, that is not possible. Is not possible to do. Definitely.
Yes, it's I think it's very much like that. Okay, Martin will ask a question.
Sure.
Hi, Dragan. Nice to meet you. I have a question. How is it? Take a minute. How you? How can I say? How you keep the young water police in your team? I think, for example, in our club, young water police. How can I say? Tired about the sport so quickly, and I think if you have a method or something like that to keep in the sport?
Well, Martin, everything starts with the coach. So if coach has motivation and a passion, that passion will be seen and recognized by the players. That is for sure. That is one thing which is really important. Another thing is, I don't know if you had opportunity. I had a clinic for FINA, maybe I don't know 3-4 months ago, where I talked about development of young athletes. I would suggest that you go on FINA and try to find that. I can send the link. I believe it's on FINA TV or something like that, and listen to that. One of the most important things to keep athletes in the water in water polo is to make it fun. So they have to have fun. Now, when we say fun, fun in different countries and different continents is seen in different ways. When I say fun, I don't mean that they're fooling around. I don't mean that they're joking. I don't mean that there is no discipline. I don't mean that that they're just throwing the ball, like however they want. No, fun means a hard work, but with reward. Fun means at the end of every practice, they have to play the game. They have to play a water polo game. Is that 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour? It doesn't really matter. Fun means that they have to do whatever you believe will put smiles on their faces after hard practice. And that has to be every single practice. That's really something important. If you see that kids are going home really tired and without those smiles on their faces, that's not going to be good, because very few kids in the world want to get tired. that's pretty natural, especially in today's world. When you have many opportunities, especially to sit beside computer, and play games all day long, which is not really tiring, but it's fun. So you have to put the smile on their faces at the end of the practice. How you will do that is completely up to you, to try to find what will put a smile on their faces. But if they go home after practice with a smile on their face, they will come back. If they come out of the pool with a smile on their face, and when their parents ask them, how was it? And they say, it was nice, it was good, it was fun, they will come back. And parents will bring them back, But again, having fun, it doesn't mean that they will do whatever they want to do. You have to make a practice, structured practice, So if it's a hard work, it has to be reward after that. And then maybe hard work again, and then reward again, I like to say that, to analyze that like having a carrot in front of their face, or a chocolate, a chocolate. Yes, that sometimes you're going to pull away, but sometimes you will give them a little bit, to taste. And then you as a coach, I don't know if you're a coach now or a player, but coach needs to decide when to take away the chocolate, when to give them a little bit of chocolate because they deserve it, right? So everything starts from a coach, absolutely everything.
It's very great.
Okay, thanks.
Very great words. What do you think? What do you think is one of the most good coach in the world, in the world selections, and why?
Oof. I don't think I can say that.
One that you like.
There are many good coaches in the world, definitely, you know, and I like Dejan Udovičić, how he's working. I like Dejan Savić, you know. Ratko Rudić, of course, was great as well. Terry Schroeder from United States, you know, he did a great job with the United States team. You know, Alessandro Campagna is a great coach. Also, I like Rafa Aguilar. We're great friends, you know, and I really like how he is like his philosophy and what he was doing with the team. Paul Martin right now, Spanish coach, also, you know, great coach. Vlachos in Greece, Elvis Patovic in Australia right now. Like, there are many good coaches in the world, you know. But I'll give you two examples. One is Dejan Udovičić in United States. He's one of the best coaches in the world, definitely. And when he was with Serbia, he won, I think, 17 or 18 medals, you know, like in I don't know, 6 years, something like that, approximately. Great coach, amazing. You know, results are amazing. But
he makes the results.
Yes. But the whole structure, it's not everything about the coach. The whole structure of the federation or of the country or of the club needs to be in a way to support the coach to succeed and the team to succeed. If that's not in a place, then it doesn't really matter who will coach the team, you know? I will tell you one thing that I was telling Canadian players when I took over, when I became head coach of Canada. I said, listen, guys, I became head coach. Right now, we're in a good situation. You wanted me here. I wanted to be here. You know, like, and that's all great. But I can tell you that it doesn't matter who is sitting on the bench. It could be, I used the example of Phil Jackson, who for me is the best basketball coach in the world. Phil Jackson, for me. I said, it could be Phil Jackson sitting here. But if you are not willing to do the work, then it doesn't matter who's sitting on a bench, you know? So that's how I see it, you know? So it's about the players, it's about the whole structure of federation or of the club that will support the team to succeed and constantly support the team to succeed, because there will be good moments and there will be bad moments, and that's life. That's completely normal. It goes up and down. Don't think that Ratko Rudić always had those up moments. It's impossible. when was that? 2006 European Championship in Belgrade, in Serbia. He was coaching Croatia, and he finished, I think, 9th or 10th out of 12 teams. You know, so that was the down moment. But federation was behind him, and they supported him in those hard moments. And after that, they went up. You know, so it is the structure of the whole federation. It is the structure of the whole system that determines how successful you can be. That structure determines, are you going to be top 8 in the world, top 4 in the world? But then you have individual things with players and the coaches to decide if they're going to be 4th or 1st. That small difference. But to be in a bracket of top 4 or top 8 in the world, that's a whole structure that determines, you know, like how far you can go.
Have you got any story about this little thing that make a great change, if you remember?
Well, I don't know if I have a story. I can remember right now, but the whole.
Sí, se tildó en el mejor momento.
Le cortó. Hablo yo si quiero.
Después tengo que hacer una pregunta, Justin.
¿Qué?
Dragan, is the whole story is frozen. Oh, se fue. Okay, Dragan.
Okay.
We don't heard any of the story.
Okay. It was a great story. No, I mean it's an everyday work. You know, I'm always about that structure and the system. You know that you need to build in order to succeed. You know, so I don't know if I have any stories right now. I really can't remember any particular story. But it's about that work, you know, constant work, you know, like and dealing with the athletes, you know, that's not easy. It's not really not easy, you know. Coaches have to make players do impossible things and very hard things.
And coordinated.
Yes. But the thing is that 99% of the players, they don't want that. You know, so you have to find a way, you have to find a balance how you will do that. So that relationship, you know, is constantly challenged. You know, whenever player have a heart rate of 200, it's hard, you know, but you have to make them to have heart rate, you know, to 210.
Yeah.
And you have to push them, and you have to be tough on them, you know, like, and make them do that, you know, because they don't know actually that they can do it, you know. So that relationship, you know, is in between coaches and players is incredibly challenging, and likely most important thing, you know. So, but yeah, I can't think of any kind of story right now, you know, from my experience in that sense.
In 2012, the videos of the Olympics are very good quality, and I start to see all the match. I wake up very early, 4 in the morning, to see one match, and I got some care about Montenegro, but Montenegro didn't win, never win. Why?
Why? Their coach, both of their coaches, 2008 and 2012, were my friends, like big friends. Peter Porobic who was the coach 2008, was one of my coaches when I was playing, and we are really big friends. We talk like every day almost, you know, on a phone. The other coach, Ranko Perovic, was my teammate, you know, and we were roommates. So, but I can't tell you why, because I wasn't part of that, you know, like whole team. So I don't know exactly what happened there. I can tell you that out of those countries, Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, Greece, Hungary, Italy, France, Spain, Germany, like all of that European countries, Montenegro is the smallest country with the least number of players. The least number of players. They only have 4 clubs in a country. 4 clubs. So the results they were having in comparison, how many clubs they had, how many players they have in a country is pretty good, I would say. Really, really good, you know. The other question is that mentality of the people was always to win gold medal, you know, like, and that's coming, you know, from former Yugoslavian mentality, you know, to always win a gold medal. But I'm not sure that Montenegro has enough material to build a house. You know, you understand what I mean?
I think that too.
Yeah. So in my mind, that is the biggest issue. They always had great players. They always had the good teams, you know. But in those moments when you play semi-final game, you know, they're always a little bit
very passionate, beat one of others.
Yes, probably, yes. So yeah, I don't know exactly, you know, because I wasn't part of the team, but this is one of the reasons, definitely. So
good. Martin?
Dragan, what do you think about beach water polo, considering obviously another way to practice this sport, taking account accessibility, players, rules, and other things about this?
I think beach water polo is a great opportunity, really, really, really great opportunity, and here is why. In current structure of the whole world, in water polo, to be successful, you have to have incredible facilities. You have to have incredible lots of financial support and lots of sport support. You know, for a whole team. That is not easy in today's world, you know, to receive. It's possible, again, definitely possible, but it's not easy. In beach water polo, that's completely new sport, new discipline, that the whole world is starting from the same level, completely same level. So you don't have Europe who is better now in beach water polo than South America. No, everybody starts from completely same level. And that's the advantage for everybody else in the world, I believe, to lead the world. So whoever is the first one to create competition in beach water polo will lead the world for a number of years in the future. In regards to those facilities, swimming pools, it's not easy to have them. It's not easy to build them. It costs a lot of money. So in my mind, there are countries in the world who have predisposition to be great in beach water polo and not to be too successful in water polo just because of access to the pools. But those countries have access, you know, to the ocean, sea, lakes, you know, all of that. The temperature in a country, for example, could be really, really helpful that they can practice in the ocean 12 months a year. Some of the countries, you know, Caribbean, they can practice, you know, like 12 months a year, for sure. Maybe not 12, maybe 11, I don't know. But the whole year. For example, Cuba is struggling Cuba was amazing in water polo back in 1980s and beginning of 90s. But then, because of problems with the money, you know, like, and some political problems, you know, they couldn't travel. They're nowhere right now, almost nowhere. But they can be one of the best in the world, if not the best, in beach water polo, because they can be in the ocean every single day, 12 months a year, you know, and it's pretty cheap. All you have to do is to buy a field and a goals, which is maybe $2,000, $3,000. I don't even know how much, you know, and that's it. You need a few balls, and that's it. They can go in the ocean whenever they want to. They don't have to look when swimmers are in the pool, you know. They don't have to look, you know, if pool is closed or open or coronavirus, you know, are they going to let us, like any of that. So
not to pay the chloro.
Not to pay for the pool, absolutely, you know, which is a big thing. So when coach wants to spend 3 hours in the pool, you know, but he only has money for 1 hour, well, that will determine how long you will be in the swimming pool, you know? For sure. But in the ocean or in the sea or in the lake, you know, you can do whatever you want. So even countries who are not financially really strong can be extremely successful in beach water polo, which is really good, you know. Beach water polo and water polo, those are two different sports for me, completely two different sports. You know, it's yes, it's in the pool, you have the goal, you have the balls, but sport is a sport. Tactics, strategy, you know, like, and everything else is completely different. Preparations for beach water polo competition and for water polo competition is completely different. Totally different, you know. So those are two different sports, you know.
What about tactics? What is the best way to approach it?
That's a complex, really complex question. There are stages, there are levels that you as a coach have to follow when you're teaching the players. For example, I can't go too deep into that because it's really complex. But for example, for me, one-on-one defense is the most important part, you know, like, and that young kids have to be taught from the young age. And even up until 14 years old, they shouldn't be learning any kind of zone. Just pressing, you know, and one-on-one defense. That's development of the athletes, you know. So strategy and tactics, that's built on your team's strengths and weaknesses and on the opponent's strengths and weaknesses. And again, that is how you create strategy. But if your team's strengths are bigger than your weaknesses, you will have a better chance to use many more strategies and tactics in a game. And again, we are coming back, you know, to the same discussion as from half an hour ago or 45 minutes ago. The better one player, one link in a whole chain is, the better opportunity you will have to use way more strategies and tactics in the water polo game or any game or any game. So take your basketball players, you know, like if they're not technically as good as they are Argentinian team wouldn't be able to play that many strategies, different strategies and different tactics. But because as individuals, they're strong,
Yeah.
and their technical elements are really strong, then you can play whatever you want, whatever you absolutely want. So the key is technical development of each player. That's the key, and that's how you build it. And that's on the, let's get back to the house. That's the base of the house, the absolute base, foundation of the house, that you can build the whole house. You can build walls of the house, then you can build the roof of the house, and you can go as high as you want in the sky, but it will be strong. But if that foundation is weak or small, you can't build a house. So that's how I see it.
Another complex answer, but I want to something generically like that. In the train to the players, swim, not swim, much leg training in the sport strategies.
So if I understood correctly, you're asking me on like if players should swim or not swim, and what should they do, right? That's a complex question again, yes. But it's a question of understanding the kinesiology and physiology, physiology of each individual. I am a big believer that yes, players have to swim every practice. There is no doubt about it, because our sport is in the swimming pool. It's in the water, so they have to swim. The difference in opinion is how they will swim. So nobody is saying that waterpolo players don't have to swim. No. Everybody's saying, all the coaches in the world, that waterpolo players have to swim. There is no doubt about it. The question is how. Are they going to swim 50 meters back and forth, like swimmers? Or you're going, as a coach, you're going to be creative to make them swim while doing water polo stuff.
Yeah.
Because at that time, you work on conditioning, but you also work on water polo stuff. There are many, and I'm a true believer in that. I really am a true believer that I had practices of counter-attack offense and counter-attack defense for hours. My players wouldn't swim at all, but they would swim back and forth 30 meters over their back. Sprint easy, but everything with water polo. Swimming with the weight belts, put the weight belts on, and doing that. I don't know if you, this was amazing. I don't know if you have seen, who is Luka Doncic?
What's the name?
Luka Doncic?
No.
He's a basketball player of Dallas Mavericks.
No.
He was chosen by Dallas last year, and he was the best rookie in NBA last year. Incredible player from Slovenia, And so I follow him on Instagram, and he had maybe 2 days ago just some fun stuff at the end of practice. He kicked the basketball with his foot, and hit the basket. He scored. So it was, like on Instagram, it was crazy, like. But the interesting thing was he had the weight belts around his waist. So he was practicing with the weight belts, basketball moves, and shooting and dribbling, and running back and forth, and running slow and running fast, you know, like, and he was doing everything with a weight belt around his waist. I can tell you that water polo was doing that 30 years ago, 30 years ago, you know, so we're doing something smart. So the whole thing is how you're going to swim. So you can swim with resistance. You can swim while doing water polo drills. You can have a warm-up like basketball team is warming up. You don't see basketball team running, you know, like from one side of the court to the other side of the court, you know, before the game. They run, they move, but they do drills, basketball drills.
Yeah,
So
I think the same.
You can do that in the water as well, you know? So it's only a question how you're going to do that swimming. Swimming is important, no doubt, for sure. For sure, you know, like if player cannot swim, the player cannot play water polo. But when you come to the certain level of swimming skill and speed, then the next step is technical abilities and mental abilities. So you have top 8 teams, top 10 teams in the world who are swimming wise completely same. But the difference is in technical and mental capabilities, who is first and who is 10th. But they're still the same. So if you can incorporate swimming with water polo as much as possible, that is the best. That I believe that is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
The best and the fastest way.
Yeah, yes, I think the same. With my coach team, they develop some exercise that working the defense, the swimming part, and the attacks with variation, with weight, and things like that. We think like what you say, but this is a discussion, global discussion about that.
Yes, it always is. You know, for sure, it always is. You have coaches who believe, you know, that mental strength can only be done by swimming a lot, and that is okay. One of the best coaches in the world, some of the best coaches in the world, think that way. I don't, because if I want to create mental toughness with the players, I can do it through water polo drills, because I can make water polo players do water polo drills with resistance to be dead after 2 hours practice, or 2.5, or 3 hours, or 1.5, or whatever you want. They can be dead, absolutely dead, you know? So I always try to combine 2 or 3 different things to work at the same time, because in water polo, we're in the water, so we have the most skills that we have to perfect out of any sport. And to perfect skills, you need a lots of time. And to perfect many aspects of the game, so swimming, conditioning, technical part, tactical part, skill perfection, you know, like of shooting, of blocking, of this, of that, you just don't have time to work on everything. So you have to combine those 2-3 aspects to work at the same time, to be efficient. You know,
yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yes. Now we'll ask here, what is your inspiration? What as your coach use like a tool to motivate and make more efficient or more motivated players to your team?
That is hard to it's hard to explain that. First it's it depends what level of athletes you're working with. That's the first thing. You know, like if you're working with Olympic athletes, they should be able to motivate themselves, you know, by results, by goals that they have. And also you have a selection, you know, selection of the team, which is a motivator for every single athlete. You know, it should be motivator. Then it depends, you know, on how many athletes you have. Definitely. I joke sometimes with my friends, coaches also around the world, that in Canada, I had 3.5 players to make a team of 13 players.
Yeah.
You know, which is really difficult to do. I joke about that, but I'm not joking. It was exactly like that, you know. So when you work, you know, with fewer athletes, you have to motivate them. You have to work a lot on, like, outside of the pool, and talk a lot to them, a lot, to see, you know, like, to know everything what is happening with them, you know, what's happening with a girlfriend, you know, what's happening at home, you know, with the parents, what's happening in the school, how they feel, you know, like, you have to be a father, you know, a parent for them, and the best friend and the worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know, everything at the same time, you know. So that motivation is not going to be the same for everyone. That is for sure, you know, and that is a first step of selection of the athletes, because it's okay, you know, for some athletes, you know, not to be motivated, you know, to be Olympic champions. That is okay. It's not that all of us are built to be Olympic champions. No. But then you have to do selection, you know, and separate those athletes. And one is going in, I don't know, recreational path. Another one is going in performance, high performance path, you know, and that selection, you know, it's up to the coaches. You have to recognize that. You have to see, you know, like, but lots of talking with the players to know what is happening with them, in my mind, is the key. Really the key, you know, to find how to motivate them, what they need, you know, because some need a really good talk once a year. Some of them need a really good talk every day.
Yeah.
Some of them don't need a talk at all. They just need to get in a pool and you tell them what to do, and they're going to do it. So we're all individuals, right? So it's all absolutely different, you know, like how you will approach every single athlete, and what age they are, what stage in life they are, what their goals are. You have to know, as a coach, you have to know what their goals are, what they want, but not only what they tell you that they want to achieve. You have to recognize that in a pool, you know. Are they leading by the example, or they're just talking, you know, that they want to win Olympic Games, but, you know, when it comes to hard work, maybe I don't. So, you know, so you have to recognize that, you know, like, but talking to the players is the key, definitely.
It's amazing. Talk with you is amazing. If you want, we want to ask a few questions more. If you want.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Justin. And Nahuel,
I just have to warn you. My headsets, I already don't have one. It's charging, but you know, like, I can carry on one. That's okay. But if I lose it, you know, like, I'll just switch to another one.
No problem. The Argentinian people talk very loud.
No, that's okay. It's just battery.
Okay, this is Justin, and Nahuel asked for the same. Is something like that? It's very long developed, the question. One story about yourself, funny or important, besides Waterpolo, or in Waterpolo, that that make you as a person, and something like, what is be Dragan? What is to be Dragan?
I will tell you right now. Like, first thing that comes to my mind is traveling the world, meeting new people, meeting new mentalities, meeting new religions. That for me is the goal. That is who I am. That is the reason for Dragan to be Dragan, who I am today. I truly believe that traveling and meeting new people and new cultures is something that people cannot learn in the school. School is incredibly important for sure, but traveling gives you another dimension in being a rich person. And when I say rich person, I don't mean financially. I mean spiritually. To be really, to understand the people, to appreciate the people, to be good person, to understand, that what I have here, it doesn't have to be the best. Maybe somewhere else in the world that I don't know, people are doing the same thing better than I do, but I don't know about that. But I want to travel to learn that, so that's why traveling for me is incredibly important. I was lucky. I was fortunate to be in the sport. I was fortunate to be good in the sport and to travel with a team, and to be on all continents in the world many times, to travel the world, I don't know, 10 times, in my life, to be at least in, I don't even know, 100, 120, 130 countries in the world to visit. But one thing I will tell you, I'm this is how I'm raising my kids. My kids are a little older. My daughter is 23 and my son is 18 years old. So almost they went their own way. But one thing, because I was raising my kids to travel also, and my daughter spent, for example, 8 months in Barcelona last year on school exchange, and she was traveling around Europe. And before she went there, I said, "Listen, if you need something over there, let me know. I have a few friends in Barcelona." And she asked me, "Is there any place in the world that you don't have friends?" and that's a gold. That's really a gold. That's something I'm extremely proud of, and I was fortunate. I was lucky, that through the sport and through the travel, I could create myself in a way that I am today.
It's very, very good talking. Okay. ¿Alguien más tiene alguna pregunta? Anybody else want to ask something? Okay, Dragan, it's great. The words, in my case, are very limited, and they might not, but the word yes. But we share the same ideas. All the team think the same. So we appreciate to take the time. We are very, very, very little without Waterpolo world. We, the people are here, but we appreciate that. I think we most of the things help us to develop another milestone more. So we thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was my pleasure, really my pleasure. And you're not small part of the world. You're part of Waterpolo world, and that's what I am also. And this is why I enjoy this kind of interaction, you know, and discussions. I really enjoyed this last hour and a half. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Ok, Justin, ¿vos querés decir algo?
No, básicamente lo mismo que dijiste vos, Gerba, que le agradecemos. Muchas gracias. No sé si me entendés, Dragan. Pero bueno, desde Chahue te saludamos. Somos un equipo chico, igual que los Toros, ahí en Buenos Aires. Pero bueno, todo esto nos motiva para seguir adelante. Y nada, y conocer tu mirada, y ojalá un día pases por acá, por Argentina, y nada, te esperamos con un mate, un asado.
I translate.
Bueno, un partido de waterpolo.
He's from Buenos Aires, but he met a girl in one of our trips to another city in the interior of Argentina, and he stayed with her. And he starts a water polo club there. The name is Chahue, and he said that we thank you, obviously, but if you came anytime to Argentina, you have friends in Buenos Aires, in Entre Rios, in all over Argentina, and we share some mate or some meat.
It will be my pleasure. I was 2 times in Argentina, 1 time in Mar del Plata. During the Junior World Championship, I think it was 2005 or something like that. And I was at the Youth Olympic Games 2018 in Buenos Aires.
Yes.
And I love Argentina. I really do.
It's
not because you are from Argentina, but I really do. I like mentality of the people. I like style of living. You know, like, and I like the country. I really do. So. You're fortunate to live in Argentina.
Okay, very much. Thank you. And I ask if you want. We think the people here. We think to make something to educate the coach in the Spanish language, because there are a few books. I have a few books in English. But in Spanish, nothing. In Spanish, is nothing. Not even in Spain. So we think that we can make something that developed through all the Spanish people in America, in Spain, and has the link with the association that you do. But we are the link to connect the people. Our goal is that the water polo coach are very much more trainer, that the real estate is poor, very poor. They have great ideas, but they have not the education that is in the books, that is already in the books. They don't know.
That's something we can help you with, definitely. You know, we usually work through federation, but we can do whatever you wish. I would suggest, as a starting point, that you I will send you through Facebook. I will send you the link of that presentation I had with. Actually, you know what? You can go on our website, www.pcoach.org. That's our website, World's Waterpolo Coaches Association. And under clinics, you will see FINA clinics. You will see my name. Click on that. You can watch. It's on YouTube, so you can watch the whole presentation of 1 hour, maybe. I think it will be really, really interesting for you to hear that, and then after that we can be in contact, you know, and do, you know, work on whatever you wish, whatever your needs are.
Okay.
Well, okay, perfect.
Very thank you. Thank you so much.
Gracias. Thank you so much, and stay safe. Okay.
Yes. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.